Hi, this is Iris, and welcome to Parapopulous. Our subject today? Well, it's been a while. So, hi everybody. Those of you who've kept checking in on the podcast and the YouTube channel, thanks. Let's see. 3 years, right? I know. I know. Is my favorite word today. Let's just call this a recap, a catch up, and sort of a directional compass. You guys have never left my thoughts. The paranormal is something I've grown up with. It's not something I ever plan on leaving by the wayside, and I truly haven't. The podcast kind of, went on extended vacation, and I apologize without the notice. I would really like to have had the intention of saying, okay, we're going on hiatus and we'll be back and, wander off, but be sure to come on back and hang out when you can. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work like that. 2017, the start of it was a complete mess for me. I had friendships and relationships go completely bottoms up, and it threw me for a loop. And I will not try to hide that fact. I have for too long. So it required moving and building and living in a new place. And it took a turn to me becoming a primary caregiver for my father, who passed away of cancer almost a year ago. And it was about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I had planned to come back and start doing the podcast again. And that's when, unfortunately, I had to take over a significant portion of caregiving. It's been almost a year since he's been gone, and I have not been myself. I don't know if you follow anything else I do, but the gaming streams and the blog updates and the new designs have all been really few and far between, and a lot of it has stopped entirely. It's not necessarily by my choice, although I am the one doing it and the only one doing it, but the overload from just the amount of emotions from the start of 2017 and then last year, I finally, I about a year and a half ago, I finally started to feel like I was getting a rhythm and I was getting some momentum. And that's really when my dad started to go downhill. And I unfortunately was spending 16, 18 hours a day. And they're just beyond trying to look after the rest of the things going on in life. There wasn't that time. And I apologize for that. It's not something I ever intended to do. Like I said, leave you guys all by the wayside, leave it all by the wayside. So I'm hoping to make amends and come back, and we'll do a little bit of a, maybe not rebranding, but maybe we'll be willing to try some new things or explore some new topics. But we're basically going to be, unexplained adventures and paranormal and weird and wonderful and all that sort of stuff. So, if you're not familiar with us, we're available in pretty much every podcasting thing that there is. And if we're not, there's a couple we're working to get into, but they needed new episodes. So that's where this comes in. And this will give you time to catch up on the old ones if you're new to us. And if you've been, following for a while, you can go re-listen or, just hang out and we'll have some coffee and we'll get ready for the next official podcast. So the direction we're going is we've got the YouTube for the podcast. I am working on a new background for that. I know it's minor, but it means something to me, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. It may not be in place for the first YouTube release, but it is coming. We are on, oh my goodness, Spotify, Amazon, iTunes. I know I'm missing a few. The list is there. Please follow on the one you feel most comfortable with, or all of them. I mean, that's great. If you're enjoying the podcast, let me know. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So, my question to you all today is, well, I have you here as a captive audience, semi captive. Thanks for hanging out. Please don't run yet. What would you like from Parapopulous? Do you enjoy the shorter episodes? Would you like something longer? Are you really looking to see pictures of what we're discussing on the YouTube when that goes up there? Is there something you really feel like, hey, I like it a lot, but if you could just do this one or two things, that would make it so much better. So that's my question. I will post that probably on the social medias as well, just to get a feel of, maybe you guys are hoping for a longer episode here and there. Maybe you like the shorter. I don't know. I'm not exactly a mind reader, but I can't let that completely. I can't give you all the deets there. And I know the inevitable question is going to be, have you tried to contact your father? No, I haven't. I have a whole story behind that, and I think that will be one of the episodes where maybe we go into a little bit of family background and some things I saw growing up and my experiences like that, and we'll include that. It may not be right away. The anniversary of his passing is coming up in just over a month's time from when I'm recording this. So it might be a little touchy. I'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens, but it may be something we end up tackling at a later date and time. Anyways, I do have some ideas percolating over here with my lovely big brew of coffee and other paranormal witchy sort of things off to the side as well. So be assured we are coming back. It's been just trying to get my feet and my bearings. And you wouldn't think for someone who believes in the paranormal that would be quite that difficult. Knowing that, there are things beyond our understanding and things we can't explain, and but it was just kind of, there's a lot of other things going on behind the scenes as well, but it was just kind of a, hey, when does this end? Don't ever ask the question, oh my goodness, what's next? Please never ask that question. Don't leave yourself open to the opportunity, to the universe, to give you something you're not looking for. There's also another phrase. I can't use the full phrase because I'm trying to be, PG here, but it's, oh, blank me. It starts with an F. Some of you can figure it out. And don't ever leave yourself open to that, because the universe doesn't really understand if you're looking for the good version or the, hey, can we shaft you a little more in a bad way. I'm just saying, these are things you should be realistic about when you're calling things up. It's tone, it's attitude is what you're paying attention to. Anyways, I wandered off as usual. So that's where we stand. Thanks for hanging out. And catch up on the old ones if you're new to the podcast. If, you've been around, thank you so much. I've always made the joke of I come back and haunt you guys on a regular basis. I'm planning on it being a much more regular basis. It's hard right now with my setup. There's, it's not quite as sound isolated as it was before. And the time to try to find a quiet time in the space is not necessarily there, so bear with me. There's gonna be noises in the background. There's gonna be, it's different than before, and that's not necessarily bad, but it's it is what it is. It is where we are, and it's something I'm going to try to push past in my search for perfection to give you that something instead of nothing, because I'd rather give you something that is slightly flawed than nothing at all. So, thanks for hanging out, and boo, we will be back in a few.